Hi, this is medievalist.net, and we are with...
Hi, I'm Char Brandstetter.
And I'm Kara McCandless.
We are at their castle that's located just outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I can't believe I'm so impressed just taking a look around this place.
It's incredible.
How did you come up with the idea of building a real castle?
Well, on our honeymoon, we went to England and to Italy, thinking that England would be an easy place to visit and Italy would be a romantic place to visit. But we found that, in fact, England was the romantic part of our journey, in large part because we got to stay in castles as we were there. So 2 years later, we went back to England and did a castle tour where we stayed at as many different castles as we could. And we came back joking about how wonderful it would be to live in a castle ourselves. We kept talking and talking about it until it wasn't funny anymore. We built one ourselves.
Can you describe how this castle is modeled? Like, what's it modeled after?
Certainly. There's a castle called Bodiam Castle, which is in Kent in southern England, and it was unusual for most of the castles because it was built in a short time frame, just 4 years, from starting in 1385. And that meant that it was all one cohesive architectural style, as well as being in a time period where they were building castles to be more livable, although still defensible. So they looked more like defensible castles than the late, manor houses, but it was also more room than just one big Norman keep and not much comfort. And that was just the perfect balance of it looks like a castle, but it's a very livable, usable space.
Can you guys sort of just describe and talk about some of the, textiles, the tiles, the things that you use, the oak paneling that were period style that you selected for the house? There are elements that I think you could incorporate into any modern house. When we wanted stone flooring, we went with slate. When we wanted wood flooring, we went with as wide plank as possible. Even though it's linear, we still went with as wide a plank as possible. In our great hall, we have tile floors, and the tiles should be very small, and of colors that would have been used in the medieval time.
It's easy to research. There are books on English medieval tile patterns. There are certain things, especially at places like IKEA, that are very simple styles that really are often drawn from medieval times. So sometimes you start to develop an eye for a medieval look, a medieval aesthetic, and things like this will jump out at you. You have to avoid things that have a strong modern style, otherwise you can really
put it together yourself.
Absolutely. You also have to avoid things like screens, framed pictures, rugs. Computers are all put behind sort of a medieval wall hanging, so there's things that you try to minimize or avoid.
There's a nice way that it was sectioned off the office areas. So it kind of keeps that theme going throughout the house.
Yeah, even in areas where we have modern conveniences that are necessities for code or what have you, we hide them as best we can. Like the vent returns in the Great Hall are covered with not standard vent returns, but carved patterns in the medieval tile pattern. So it looks medieval even when it has to be modern.
What are your favorite parts of the house?
Oh, the top of the highest tower.
Yeah, the top of the highest
It's
tower.
about 50 feet up.
Yeah, it really is our favorite part. It's like being on a cloud and being surrounded by stone at the same time.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And we chose the lot not to have anything modern around it. So when all the leaves are down, you can see a few in the neighbors' houses. When the leaves are on the trees, you can only see 2 in neighbors' houses and nothing else.
It's sort of obscure.
Yeah.
It kind of looks forest-like. The murals here are incredible, and we have them painted over the course of just like 15.
Yeah, we did over many months. A friend of ours who's an expert in British medieval wall paintings came and spent weekend upon weekend standing on our walls, slowly painting all of those murals.
His name is Bob Rich. He's a high school chemistry teacher in Maryland. And in the Society for Creative Anachronism, he's known as Master Brendan. And he just has researched and done an incredible job with local minerals painting these images. So the images are actually made with period pigments.
Do you have any advice? Like, if a person wants to kind of start out and kind of put something medieval in their house, where might they start?
Well, there's 2 great books called Constructing Medieval Furniture, 1 and 2 by Dan Deal. DIEHL. And they also have advice for how to make medieval wall hangings on your own. So all of this would be to construct on your own or give to somebody who could do good working for you. The tiles, you can research how to do that and buy them at a local tile store. They're pretty standard. So some things are very difficult and have to be hand done by someone with some skill. Many other things just involve starting to look through medieval images and picking out things that look like you can get them in modern times.
I just have like a final question. What are the logistics of living in a house like this, especially?
Well, it's not hard.
It's like,
It's a nice big house. The kids have a lot of room. The Great Hall is used for football as much as it's used for medieval dancing. And we don't make them in their rooms conform to any medieval theme. They can put up Spider-Man and Star Wars posters to their heart's content. But in our areas of the house, or in the common areas of the house, that's where we keep our new theme.
it's beautiful. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah.
Thank you
This
for sharing your home with us. It's incredible.
Yes, thank you, Duke. I think everyone, like a lot of our viewers, dreamed of living in a medieval castle, and they're living that dream.
You're living that dream
We are living
for
that dream.
years. Yes, definitely.
Part of the dream is sharing it with other people. So we came at the end of the event and we had about 105 people in here, and we've had up to 200 at times when we can go outside. But it's really fun to see it all full of people in medieval garb all having a great time.
It's incredible. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.